America, the land of the free and the home of the brave. Though these past few years, we haven't really been living up to that reputation. This country has become a shadow of its former self, a cesspool of sin and wretchedness. This has been happening for a long time. Why exactly? It's quite simple. God is being expelled from the essence of America. It's been happening ever since they stopped allowing the Bible to be read in public schools. And then the problem accelerated from there with the exception of gay marriages, the celebration of pride and sin, the indoctrination of our children. I barely recognize the country that I was born into anymore. And I grew up on a lot of good stuff. It wasn't political stuff. It wasn't influence stuff. It was just innocent stuff that you'd see as kids. And maybe you didn't even know what you were watching at that time. But God is the reason why things turn good and sometimes challenging. But overall, they come out great. For you and for anybody else who believes in Him, who puts their faith in Him, who prays to Him daily in the hopes that they'll make it through another day and live to see the next one. But so far, a lot of the people across America have been turning away from God. They've been giving in to other things. They've been living the way the world influences them to live. And some people believe that they can live with the world and live with Christ, but that's not possible. That's being a lukewarm Christian. You have to make a choice. You either live the way Jesus would want you to live, the way God would guide you, or you live with the rest of the world, a world full of corruption, full of sin. That's how far America has fallen. It gets worse from there since there's so much chaos and violence, so much extreme weather, so much loss, and even though there are advancements that might be beneficial, that might seem beneficial, who's to say there's not a different agenda around? Like, we're coming closer to merging with machines, with artificial intelligence having a rise as of late. I'm talking about people able to get microchip implants, prosthetics. Now, prosthetics is good. It's for people who are disabled, who are crippled, who've lost limbs over time. But how far will it go? How far before just an arm or a leg? How just becomes more? How long before we completely replace our body, replace what is human with machine? We're putting human nature, we're putting flesh at risk. And it gets worse from there. We might even be erasing our own history. This might not be completely relevant, but I've heard that starting by possibly the end of this year, we could say goodbye to the manufacturing of the penny. And that's because we're getting closer and closer to using more and more technology, more digital currency. As convenient as it is, it shouldn't replace real money, the real things that we use to buy, things that we need to survive. We're coming closer to becoming a cashless society. And it may be due to the influence of other countries who've already given in to so much corruption happening all over the world. My friends, what we're experiencing is a convergence of Bible prophecy, the likes of which had never been seen but had been prophesied to happen. We're talking about chaos on a global scale, the most extreme of weather, war consuming many countries, rendering people homeless, lifeless, unable to survive more than a day. America has, like I said, been corrupted to its near fullest with how much we celebrate at this point, how much of this or what we celebrate as being should be considered a sin in the Bible. We're living in dark times, my friends, and we need to get the message out there because we're running out of time. No one knows when he or she will die, and no one knows when Christ will really return. It will be someday soon. I'm certain of that. But you need to make a choice. You can either wait, have faith in him, live the way you want him to live, and on that day, when you finally pass away from this world, you'll stand before the Lord in judgment. He will judge you by all things that would require faith, real faith, actions, not just words, things that you're either proud of or things that you took valor in, so something that required true virtue. Keep that in mind, because another thing that's going to escalate throughout these times is deception. We're going to have people who are making false doctrine, and they might not even be real people. Like I said, with artificial intelligence, we already have people who are experimenting with this sort of stuff, and the result is fake videos, fake voices, fake messages that are coming from people who are not even real. This video is real. I want to make sure of that. I pray that nobody copies my looks, copies my voice. I don't want to be the victim of an impersonation of a soulless machine. And I pray that nobody else out there falls victim to it either. Because we need to spread the truth, and we need to spread it now. Otherwise, people will continue to fall for fake doctrine, telling them that sin is okay, and it'll get worse from there, because we don't know how bad artificial intelligence will get. Have we learned nothing from the movies? Terminator, I, Robot, The Matrix. Jokes aside, it is something that we should take into consideration, something that we need to look out for. I pray that this message gets out there and that it inspires real people to make similar messages, because time is running out. There's a glimmer of hope in the darkest of areas. America may no longer be the same country that some of us grew up in, and many other people out there will think of it very differently, will remember it very differently than future generations. It's our duty to spread the gospel, to spread the truth, to make sure people have something to really remember. This nation was built semi-inspired by God. But we're not God. We're his creations. And we can't get to acting like God, because then he will turn away from us. What I'm getting at with that is that we're basically building another Tower of Babel. We're getting close to the point where humans are already doing so much that it feels like we can do anything, if we're not already to that point. We're trying to expand our resources, our potential, our opportunities. Who knows how far it'll go? Maybe too far. But who knows when that'll happen? When it does happen, if it'll ever happen, we need to be ready. Because just like the Tower of Babel, God will stop us from going too far. He's done this many times over. He's done it with Noah and the ark. He's done it with the Pharaoh and the plagues of Egypt. He's done it with the Romans who crucified his own son. But he's doing this because he loves us. And he wants us to remain aware. He wants us to know that he's there. He's here. He's in every aspect in our lives. You can hear him. You can feel him. You can sense that something is telling you what to do and not to do. And I want to believe that is the Lord. If it's not the Lord, then it might as well be the devil, because he also tries to influence you. He tries to take you away from the Lord, not for anything good, not for anything rewarding. No, the devil will always be a monster. He will always have bitter hatred for God, because he wanted to be like God himself. And he will drag you away from him and throw you into the pits of hell so that you could suffer there with him. You don't want that? Then turn to Jesus now. It's always a choice that you got to make, and I pray that you start praying. You have to make this choice: eternity with God or eternity with the lake of fire. For me and my household, we will serve the Lord. I pray that this message gets out there. and it inspires others to make the same. I'm not good at these, and I pray that people take the opportunity to get the word out there. Real people. No deception, just truth. And I pray that there are people behind those cameras, that their images, that their voices are not being stolen. Because time is running out and deception is growing. We need the truth out there now more than ever. So keep watching, keep praying, keep spreading the word out there, people. Because time is running out. I pray that this message was an inspiration. I pray that it gets out there, and I pray that others do the same. God bless you all.